Hello and welcome to episode 69 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, the podcast where we pick a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie list. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
This is Random Movie 3861. It is Straw Dogs from 1971. Runs for 1 hour and 53 minutes. Had a Metascore of 73 and a user score of 7.1. It had a budget of 2.2 mil and it brought in a box office of 8 mil. Directed by Sam Peckinpah, which, you know, his name is more famous than his entire catalogue, I would suggest.
Yeah.
But Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you know.
Which, quite frankly, was an excellent movie.
The Wild Bunch.
Not bad.
And then the old, the movie that was always on late at night on BBC Two during your childhood, Convoy, with Chris Christopherson. Remember the song?
Yeah, Convoy.
Yeah.
Rubber Ducky. Come in, Rubber Ducky.
Yeah. So, you know, he was more famous for his westerns. This Straw Dogs is based on a novel by Gordon Williams called The Siege of Trencher's Farm, which I think would be the better name for this movie.
Yeah, I don't get the Straw Dogs reference.
It comes from a Korean phrase, something about heaven and hell don't worry about human beings, they just treat us like straw dogs or something. And there are straw dogs there's straw dog figurines in Korean culture or things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit with
No.
the English countryside.
No, they did want to name it a couple of other things, but they just went with this, I don't know, trying to be clever. It was remade.
It's never a good idea.
No, it was remade in 2011 with our old friend James Marsden from 27 Dresses and Kate Bosworth. But
haven't seen it. I don't know what the rating is. I didn't bother clicking into it because it looked awful from the cover.
No, I don't know how they managed it or how they approached it, but I think it's pretty much a remake of, you know, but instead it's set in America. That's all I got into it in depth wise. Well, this 1971 version features Dustin Hoffman as David and Susan George as Amy. And the only really the other actor that I want to point out is Peter Vaughan as Tom, who is Meister Aemon from Game of Thrones.
You're missing something very important.
What's that?
I don't have his actual name now in front of me, unfortunately, but Bishop Len Brennan.
What?
Is one of the smaller characters in it.
No way. Which character? One of the villagers?
Chris, whoever the hell Chris was. I have it written down here. Len Brennan is Chris.
Len Brennan is Chris.
Obviously, Len Brennan isn't actually the characters or the actors.
Jim Norton.
Name. That's the guy.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember him in it, to be honest, but he's down there.
He was also
Chris Cossey.
He was also, people also played Albert Einstein in Star Trek The Next Generation. I didn't realize he was such a prolific actor. Yeah, he was in Cheers, he was in Frasier, he was in LA Law.
He was all over the place before he got his flowing gown.
Before he got his kicked up the arse by Father Ted.
He did kick me up the arse.
Crilly! Well, that's interesting. I never noticed that one. That's cool.
Yeah, I half intended on going back and trying to find him. He's high enough up the pecking order as well, but Chris he's one of the really bad boys who does something really horrific.
He is. I think he's Chris. The main ex-boyfriend is Charlie.
I think Chris is Charlie's best bud.
Yeah, he's one of those. I didn't. Obviously, it's a long time ago. He doesn't look like Bishop Brennan. Obviously,
no, he's not dressed the same either.
No,
which is a shame.
Yeah, Susan George, who plays Amy, was 20 in this, and this is her first. She was an unknown. There was a lot of names thrown out there, famous actresses' names, but Peckinpah went with Susan George, and so the summary of it is really short in Metacritic. It's a young American and his English wife come to rural England and face increasingly vicious local harassment. I didn't really know what I was going to get myself in for when I read that summary.
Yeah, that doesn't describe it properly.
No, it doesn't. And the entire movie, I think, is just a bit it's off center, I believe, if you understand what I mean by that. It's just sort of
completely.
The plot is sort of a kilter, and it's a lot of stuff happens in the last third, basically, or last fifth, maybe, if we want to cut it back into
It's a
shorter
lot of
chunks.
setup. It is a lot of
Yeah,
setup. And to be
yeah,
honest, there's a lot of stupid ass decisions by the main characters in this.
yeah, yeah.
The motivation of not just the supposed good guys, or the bad guys, don't make a lot of sense. Their actions either.
No, there's a lot of nonsensical sort of plot devices along the way. We sort of get into we have to start this off so we can get through it pretty quickly here. Like we start off, it was I was just like, oh my god, we're looking down into a graveyard and kids are playing Ray and
Yeah,
Rosie in the graveyard. There's like this horn cacophony music intro. I'm going, geez, it's one of these 70s movies where the music is going to suck badly, and it's going to be a depiction of an English rural village, and it's going to be quite paint by numbers caricatures of everybody. And it doesn't really. I didn't think they were caricatures. I thought they delivered the whole local yokels quite well, but a little bit generic as well at the same time. But not. I want to turn this movie off immediately, but upon seeing their portrayal,
To be honest, I kind of I at the start anyway. I was digging the off-centeredness of it, the sort of on edgeness of it, like the fact that they're playing in a graveyard is just freaky, and it's a whole village just all stuck in a graveyard messing about. It's it's weird. I kind of like that. No,
yeah,
it kind of loses it substantially later on, but
yeah,
at the start, I like the team they're setting. I like the groundwork they're putting down here at this point.
Well, yeah, I think the first two scenes where they're outside and so they're coming from the shop or whatever, and they get into the car, very weird. Where it just focuses in on her breasts as she's walking, braless. That's sort of like,
all the locals are like, "Hey, up, hey."
Yeah, so like everybody's staring, everybody's ogling, and that doesn't let up for the entire movie, and obviously it, snowballs into a lot more horrendously shot scenes.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable at the start because of that, and it gets way worse.
Yeah, so Charlie is one of her ex-boyfriend who comes in, and he's just totally on top of her, oogling and leching and leering at her and saying, grabbing, and then there's lots of people staring. Dustin Hoffman goes into the pub, and it's one of those scenes, those trope scenes where you go in as a stranger and all the locals turn around and go, who the hell are you?
That's happened to me several times, though. It does happen.
It does happen. Oh yeah, it happens a lot, especially in Ireland when you're in.
The piano stops playing in the corner.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody turns around.
Yeah. Who the hell is this guy? Who does he think he is coming into our pub?
Yeah.
I read that Sam Peckinpah wasn't happy with the way the locals reacted to Dustin Hoffman the first time, so he got Dustin to walk in without his trousers on. I don't know how that changed the reactions. Why weren't they laughing or stuff? They just stared.
That's an unusual move.
Yeah. Well, we're introduced to Tom here, who's the local sort of village idiot leader. He's obviously loves his drink, and he has a lot of the other local yokels under his wing of stupidity and, criminality, maybe not. Just yobbishness, I guess.
Yobbishness would be, I don't know of criminality. Like they're...
No. And we also are introduced
they're likely lads,
They're likely lads. There's a magistrate as well.
The whole magistrate thing's weak.
Yeah.
I'm the law sitting in the corner. You're just a retired soldier. Shut up.
Yeah, but they all say, "Oh, major, blah blah blah."
Major.
Yeah, so they're all sort of
but
make
it's
sure
that they all hate him.
They all hate him as the arm of the law. He has a broken arm as well, and that's because the actor actually broke his arm before on a piss up with Sam Peckinpah.
That's how he got the job.
Yeah. So listen, Amy and David are newlyweds. He's American. She's from this local village. They're doing up this house. They've just moved in. He's spending a year there because he's a mathematician. He's an astrophysicist, mathematician, whatever. The lads, including Charlie, he's been roped in because Amy stupidly said, "Hey, why don't you come out and help Chris, who's the rat extermination guy, and then Ben, the guy who's fixing the roof, to be."
Oh, so Len Brennan's a rat guy.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't make the connection when you said.
Wow, he's so different looking. Anyway, sorry.
Threw me off. Yeah, he's the only one with blonde hair, so he stood out a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're basically out there. They take home this large bear trap or whatever that that needs to be said. Man trap later.
Oh, it's so obvious it's going to get used.
Yes, of course.
I've written down here, man trap. That's going on somebody's head or leg.
Yeah, that's going to be used later on. They're sort of they're basically eyeing up David as a stupid American, and so they're sort of interested in, but as interested in like as a zoo exhibit. They ask him, "Oh, see anyone get knifed or somebody?" So everyone's oogling the missus, and they head out to their house, and the lads are there. They're coming out, and the rat guy Chris has Amy's underwear with him
in his pocket.
Yeah. Took it as a souvenir.
Yeah, this is pre-cat.
Yeah, pre-cat. So, so this internal house scenes, we have a lot of reoccurring things. Like David and Amy are at loggerheads a lot, but then also in love a lot and happy. But it swings and roundabouts. They're constantly going back and forth. She changes a plus sign to a minus sign on his equations on the blackboard, and
dick move, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, exactly. David's suspicious of all the flirting with the yokels. Yeah, he says something weird again too. I don't know what Sam Peckinpah is all about, but he's sort of talking with. Yeah, he's saying, "Oh, like walking around with no bra on or whatever," which she isn't. Then he says something like, "Oh, you're like an 18-year-old or like a 15-year-old or like 8-year-olds."
Like his dialogue is very inappropriate.
Yeah.
Just off as well.
It's weird.
It's not a conversation you have with another adult.
No, it's strange. And yeah.
And then he's given out to her for acting childish. He's just as bad himself.
Yeah, they're both very, very weak characters. They're just they're
poorly written, and I think that's probably straight from the book.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the book is there's lots of different changes. They have a daughter in the book. There's no sort of weird teenage girl in the town. That's some other character, whatever. Yeah, so there's a couple of big changes, and there is no horrendous scene in the middle of it. They just basically they just want to.
They wanted to make it salacious.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a siege at the end of the book, I believe, but it's just trying to get the American out or something. I don't know.
Well, there want to be a siege at the end of the book if it's called the Siege of Trencher's Farm.
Exactly. Yeah. So we cut back, so basically to give the general vibe at home. They're not 100% happy. Amy's bored. David's going, "Can you shut up and leave me alone?"
Shut up. We have to work. Yeah.
Because every 5
minutes, things.
Yeah, every 5 minutes it's David,
where's the cat?
Have you seen the cat? Here, kitty. So yeah, we get into we flash back to a pub scene where the major comes in and Tom. There is a character that's introduced at the start of the first few scenes.
Henry Niles with the girls.
Yeah, so you sort of get the sort of indication that he has had past with inappropriate behavior with children. Basically, we have to be very careful about saying certain words because we'll get cancelled from Spotify. So we just need to describe these things.
On my mind.
Yeah, we need to, because there's a scene later on where we're going to have to just dance around it. Unfortunately,
we're going to have to paint over that one a little bit. We can't say what in detail what happens.
No. So Tom in there, he's the guy who's up for inappropriate behavior. He did it already. His brother's there, and he said, "Listen, He's out and about. If he gets caught again, we're gonna do
Lock
him
him
in.
up. Do him in, yeah.
And his brother's going, listen, I'll sort him out. Don't worry about it. We also then have this teenage girl and boy, brother and sister, who are Tom's grandkids, I'm guessing, who just turn up looking in through the window of their bedroom and just, that's fine.
It's a bit freaky, but okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then, I don't know, there's just weird scenes.
David, a collection of weird scenes.
David throws grapefruits at the cat. They have a game of chess in bed, and yeah, there's...
That's not how you play chess. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah. It's sort of... I guess it's one of their happy times, because there's a lot of times when they're not, and they're kind of bickering at each other.
Most of the time, they're kind of bickering over stupid crap. And there's obviously an unresolved issue that they came here with.
Yeah. Yes. And so we kind of flash on to the next day, and he's trying to work, and she's sitting in the office with him, and she's like going, leave me alone, and she's crying. And so it's very, very quickly just, illustrated that they're sort of up and down in this relationship, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go deep. I don't know why. They're very surface level reasons why they're sort of on the outs with each other.
Yeah, she alludes that he's running away from something. What? What's he effing running away from?
Yeah.
A little bit of background. Thanks very much. It doesn't go there.
Yeah. So she messes with the blackboard again. The guys are on the roof ogling, and she
takes her top off in front of the lads on the roof, which is stupid.
Very, very idiotic and very, I don't know, what's the word? Incendiary, maybe? I don't know. Very sort of...
Yeah.
Getting the wrong type of attention.
Considering she didn't like the advances earlier from Charlie.
Yeah.
Not a good move.
No. She's lost the cat again, so she's kitty, and David just goes, all right, I'm out of here. And the lads are laughing at him, trying to bloody start his car. They tell him to pass, and he nearly crashes into a tractor.
Fairness, at the time, nobody in America could drive stick.
Well, if you ever watch the Amazing Race reality show, every time the Americans go to Europe and try to drive stick, nobody can do it. Yeah. So nothing's changed in a couple of 60 years or so.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, we see a sort of a scene with Niles, with Janice, who's this teenage girl who's looking through the window earlier on. And the brother smacks him in the middle of the street, goes, listen, you're going to get
hands off, mate.
Trouble, yeah. So you see another bar thing here, and the major comes in and says, hey, let's go out to your house, David. The reverend is out there. I want to invite you to the church. So he heads up there and puts on a bagpipes LP.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my effing life. And not only does he put on the bagpipes LP, which is stupid, but he cracks it up to 11. Yeah. And then says, oi, vicar, have a whiskey.
Yeah. Is it trying to portray the American as thinking this is what they should play in England? Bagpipes LPs. I don't know why.
Obviously.
Yeah. He has a little bit of a head-to-head with the vicar about science versus religion. I couldn't remember the quotes. I just really couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I think it was the vicar went at him about, you're doing, you're studying radiation and such, huh? That you're using the feckers that kicked off those nuclear bombs, huh? And he went, you religious feckers, wars, religion, rawr.
Yeah. Well, Amy looks upset during the entire time the vicar and his wife is there along with the major, and then the reverend's wife is looking a little alluring and very starey as well. I thought something was going to happen there. It's strange.
I don't get that.
Anyway, we get to the nighttime, and we have the cat hanging scene, which comes out of nowhere, to be honest with you, which is okay if that's done. If you think about the bunny boiling scene in Fatal Attraction, that's a good out of nowhere.
Yeah,
this is kind of like a bad out of nowhere.
It's somebody's messing with you. It's an escalation. They're fucking with you. Excuse my French. It's time to get worried. But then how both of them react to it is kind of weird, especially him.
Well, yeah, but like he just closes the door and he sees it hanging there.
It doesn't say don't go in there. There's a cat.
No, he just sits down.
Sits down.
And she has to open it up and scream again. It's like, Jesus.
Like, it's an a-hole move from him. He's like, oh yeah, cat, let's sit over here.
Yeah. So, but like, it is a shocking scene, but but it's not. It didn't give me anything more because there's a bunch of guys out in the roof. What's the connection? There was no sort of I don't want it to go from 0 to hanging cat. I need 0, a little bit of something, and then had cat hanging. There was laughing at him. There was oogling through the window, but it's just a random thing. That's why are they doing? Why would they do that?
I would have liked an insult from David to the lads, or where he's putting them down, or something like that, just to give a reason for this escalation. There is no reason for it other than they fancy his wife. That's not a.
Well, how about as well, let's fix this movie again, as we want to do. What about it's his cat, it's David's cat, and he shows his affection for it in front of the builders. And maybe when it's missing, he goes in and goes, oh, have you seen the cat? I've had him since I was, a university student, whatever. Like some sort of connection between him and the cat. Why kill Amy's cat when they fancy her and they were oogling her? So there you go.
They want to get out of the way.
Yeah, that's how we fix it. That's how we fix the movie.
Done.
But she's saying, "Oh, this was the lads. This was the lads. This proves that they can get into your bedroom." Jesus Christ! It's like,
well, none of the doors were locked.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
There's no proof needed.
And this is the thing as well. They never close the curtains ever.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So again, obviously, the wife's not happy. She's like going, bring it up with the lads. Come on, show you've got some cojones on you. So he goes out to the roof and goes, can you help me with the trap and put it up in front of the top of the fire?
Like a beer.
So she comes out with a tray of beer and a bowl of milk to sort of push David, into friggin' doing something, because he's been a little bit of a wuss here.
He is indeed.
So he gets invited, instead of talking about cat killing, he gets invited to a shooting outing the next morning. So he just doesn't have the bravado and the bravery to bring it up.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole heap of sense. I don't get why they would bother inviting him in the first place, other than to set him up. And a human being who knows how humans behave would be like, no, I'm not bloody going shooting with you. You killed a cat.
Yeah.
But why would I go shooting with you, mentalists?
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to do. So she's not happy. It's like, here, and then she writes on this board again, did I catch you off guard?
Yeah.
So it cuts to the next morning. They basically go out shooting with him and go, hey, stay here in the field and just open this bag up for 2 hours. Really be a long time.
Will go in the bag.
Yeah. So we get to the point here where this is a very
here's where it gets
horrendously. It was hard to watch. So basically, Charlie shows up. Her ex-girlfriend who took him out hunting shows up at the door and says, "Can I come in?" And she goes, "Yeah, sure. You want a drink?"
Yeah.
All right. So then the assault happens. I guess that's what we can say.
Let's leave it at that. She tries to fight and protect her honor, fails.
Yeah, but
it's horrible.
But did you get at the end her accepting of it, her enjoying of it?
I think that was meant to be portrayed grudgingly.
I don't know. It was badly shot and acted.
It was badly shot and badly acted.
It's hard to go to explain why I think that without detailing the graphic scenes.
Let's not. But then it gets worse.
It does get worse
because not Chris. I can't remember which guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking at the
doesn't
names.
matter. It's one of
Norman, maybe, I don't know.
One of the roof guys. Yeah,
Bobby. I'm going to say Bobby. Bobby comes in and he's got a shotgun and he points it at Charlie, and he wants to have the same experience as Charlie. Charlie's not exactly enamored with this idea, but he's got a shotgun pointed at him.
Yeah,
and this horrible situation gets a whole lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
end scene. Thank Christ.
Yeah, well, there is a background story to it too, because Sam Peckinpah. Remember, Amy George was 20, or Susan George was 20, who played this her first movie, I think, as well. And Sam Peckinpah, during the shooting of the movie, would sort of flirt about that scene and not really tell the details. And then until Susan George sat down with him,
Really?
and he said, "Well, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be fully nude, and that's what they're going to do." And she said, "Well, I'm not doing the movie then."
So
So
they'd already begun filming, and he dropped this on her.
yeah, and
What an
so
absolute
yeah,
prick.
and I don't know, like if that this is in IMDb trivia, and the way it's said, it's like he wanted it to be actually authentic.
Yeah.
So a very
he wanted the actress to feel like she'd been violated.
yeah.
What a lovely man.
So the way it's shot, though, there's a lot of facial responses, and that's the way Susan George wanted it to be, and so she won that, which is not can be said for a lot of female actresses back in the 70s, I guess, or 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
So that happens. That happens, and it goes on for a long time. It's quite uncomfortable. It's quite a long scene.
I know we can talk about it later, but this scene keeps repeating.
Yes.
For the next 20 minutes. You know what? I think that's a good move.
It was a good shot, yeah.
Because she's right in the middle of PTSD, and she hasn't explained it to anybody, and it just keeps repeating on her over and over again, which is harsh.
Yeah, so we get to that scene just in a minute. In between that, David obviously comes home, and they have another. She's in bits, obviously. And they have arguments about the cat, about him being a coward, and he's going grow up, and he's the next morning he's like, "Here, lads, you're fired for leaving me alone in a field."
Yeah, that's
here's your money. So they go to this church celebration that the major was saying.
So again, another plot hole. What the hell are they doing going there? And why did she come up with the idea? Because she comes out to him. He's sitting outside looking forlornly into a field because he's pissed off with life in general.
Yeah.
She's obviously in a terrible way, but she says, "Let's go to the church where everybody is at."
Everybody.
Yeah. It's not a good move.
It's one of the best shot and directed scenes because there's such a cacophony of kids yelling and eating.
Horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really unsettling. So it flashes back to her assault that she had to endure only yesterday, and so in between, it's like a couple of minutes of her just staring there, going crazy, and all these guys just yelling stuff and noise and kids and just horrendous children's party. If you've ever been at one, multiply it by 1,000,000.
They're all like that.
Yeah, so it's a nightmare of noise, basically. So he's like going, "You want to leave?" And she's going, "Yeah."
Oh, dear God, yeah.
In the meantime...
I'd be the same. I'd want to leave.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah. In the meantime, the priest is doing magic like it is a Father Ted scene. It's just weird.
For the cool, for the trendy.
Yeah, for the trendy. So we do have Niles. The girl, Janice, goes up and does the equivalent of waggling her fingers. Well, before that, she goes up to David because she has little hots for him, and she kind of goes, "Oh, hello."
And he's like going, "You want a ciggy?"
Yeah. So Niles goes. She goes to Niles and, "Oh, you want to go for a walk?" And then there we go. So yeah, we have a very mixture.
It's weird though. Like he's a known. I don't know if call him a sex offender, but it doesn't really go into his background. But she knows this.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. So they head off because I think Janice just wants to, I don't know, experience.
She doesn't want to be alone, I guess. She's been knocked back by David.
Yeah, it's not really fleshed out a lot. Why?
It's stupid. She walks up to a man and his wife and expects something.
Yeah. So it gets all muddy now. It gets all messy. It's pretty much somebody comes in and goes, "Oh, Niles, somebody saw him walking away with Janice." So all the lads are going, "All right, find them. We're going into the pub to get pissed up."
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole racket of sense. Instead of going looking yourself, you're going to go and drink hard liquor instead.
Yeah, there's 10 of you in the church. They just walked away 5 minutes ago. All right, we're going to go and get boozed up then and get ready. Give us some Dutch courage to kill him later on. In the
Or you
meantime,
could go save the girl.
yeah, exactly. So Niles was with Janice now, and they're kissing for a bit, and then they hear, "Oh, Janice!" Somebody's yelling for Janice, and so he freaks out, puts his arm around her neck, and goes, "Oh, don't! They'll hurt you." In the meantime, he's so tall, he kind of lifts her off her feet. Is it an accident? Most likely.
Yeah, it's an accident. Like,
yeah,
I think it's important to point out at this point that Niles has been portrayed as somebody who's got extreme learning difficulties. So he doesn't realize what he's doing, type thing.
Yeah.
So he's almost a victim at this point. No, he's not. He's just killed somebody, but he's kind of done it by mistake.
Yeah, he's sort of he's this I don't know. He's a character where you're going, well, we barely saw him all movie, and now he's a lynch.
Either.
Yeah, he's a pivotal part of this plot line in the last fifth of this movie. Anyway, we see that they're driving home, David and Amy, and they run over Niles. He comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So they bring him in, and basically Amy's going, I don't want him in the house. And David's going, go upstairs and go to bed then and take a bath. Yeah, okay, let's do that. That's a great idea. I'll get naked upstairs while there's a guy downstairs.
Yeah.
He says so many stupid things to Amy during this last scene. He's like looking for a doctor. He rings the pub and goes, yo, if the doctor comes in, let me know.
So I've got the lad you want to kill in here.
Yeah, so the barman's going to Tom and the lads. Oh, they're at the house. Away you go.
I love that he hands them a couple of bottles of whiskey as they walk out the door.
Yeah, he's a willing participant in whatever's going to happen. Yeah. So they go up there and he lets them in, and he's like going, we have to take this guy. He kidnapped Janice, and he's going, yeah, I'm not. So this is where David's sort of character sort of takes a weird, powerful turn out of nowhere, where he's like standing up for himself, going, oh, he's not. He's in my house.
He's under my protection. He's my responsibility. Clear off.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying to put on a weird English accent for an American guy, but I'm going to stick with it.
Listen, this entire last fifth of the movie lasts forever, and it's just it's so muddled. Like, I can just generally, they leave and then they just start throwing bricks through the windows and try poking sticks through the windows, throwing rats through the windows, try to opening up windows. David becomes this A-team type person where he sort of rigs up hot water and wire, and every time they put in their arms, they get handcuffed or whatever, and
he holds a knife to one guy's throat and ties him to the window frame.
Yeah, the major turns up and
he's there for about 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I'll put an end to this.
He said, "Give me that gun," and then they shoot him, and he flies like 10 feet in the air. So he's dead. And so then
it's amazing how far he flew into the air.
It was actually, yeah. So he's dead.
Newton's laws be damned.
True that, yeah. He's dead, and then they're just basically going apeshit outside. They get onto little tricycles and bikes and stuff, and it's just weird. It's just stupid.
It's Listen, they've just killed a man. He's not even just a man. He's kind of the law. He's the magistrate of the area.
Yeah.
So they're in trouble. So their obvious reaction to that is to race tricycles.
Yeah.
What? And if you're listening to this and you're saying, what? Race tricycles? Shut up. Yeah. I don't know where they found 2 tricycles, but wow.
Yeah. In the meantime, Amy wants to leave, but David stops her and slaps the crap out of her. So again, that's another crazy evolution of their relationship. Niles wants to use the lavvy. He goes upstairs, and then Niles tries to assault Amy again. David slaps him across the face a little and then just shakes his head.
Careful now. Down with that sort of thing.
Whereas any sensible person would go, you absolute piece of shit. All right, out you go. The lads can have you.
You're going to say hello to Tom outside.
Yeah. But he says, up to the attic with you. There'll be no supper for you.
Fish heads it is.
Bucket of fish heads. At this point, he puts on his Bagpipes LP again. And we get a sort of, I kind of laughed because it reminded me of The Wind in the Line. There's a knife in his back because one of the lads outside goes, he's playing music. No shit.
Really? Oh, that's amazing. I thought he was playing the bagpipes.
Tom's foot is blasted off, so he's screwed.
Tom is down.
Tom's down. What else? He
boiling waters three of them in the face, which is always funny.
All right, yeah.
Foot gone. He gets poker. He pokers two lads.
Pokers two lads. Kills Bishop Len Brennan with a poker.
He goes to town on Len Brennan, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I read that
he did hit me over the head.
Yeah, I read that they use coconuts, and in one scene you can see a little bit of coconut flying up. But I didn't rewatch it again. In the meantime, upstairs, one of the lads has come in and is trying to assault Amy again.
It's the same lad from earlier on as well.
Yeah. So this is when Charlie and David are downstairs at this point, kind of facing off.
Gun Charlie's pointed in Davy's face. Yeah.
But they both run up then, and then Charlie blasts the guy, and then David and Charlie roll down the staircase, and your trope from the start of the movie, the predictable.
He grabs it off the wall and slaps it on the head. I enjoyed this bit.
It was very light.
It's extremely. It took like 3 lads to put it up there.
Yeah.
And then he just swings it and he slaps you behind the head. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets bear trapped to his neck, basically.
Yeah, he's toast.
Yeah. I think when Amy was being assaulted, she called it for Charlie and not David. I don't know if you picked that one out, but I wrote down that note. It sounded like she was yelling for Charlie as opposed to David.
I missed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one last guy wakes up again, and so Amy grabs the gun and shoots him.
Yeah, this guy was trying to snap David's spine in half by the looks of it.
Yeah.
On his back and pulling his arms.
Yeah, but Amy decides she can finish this night off by shotgunning him. David,
possibly this bit's possibly the stupidest part. She's like, "Oh," he's like, "You okay?"
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Niles and goes into the car.
Yeah, there, Niles, come with me. I'll take care of you. I'll leave my wife here, who's just been assaulted 4 times.
Shut up, love. Don't be so hysterical. You can clean up the corpses.
Yeah, stay here with the 5 corpses that I just butchered.
Yeah. None of this movie makes a lot of sense at times.
I thought that might be the last scene, but there's a stupid last scene where under the car, and Niles goes, I don't know my way home.
Neither do I.
Finn. And that was ad-libbed by Hoffman, I read. And Peckinpah thought it was so great he left it in.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
It's kind of annoying because I love Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Just, I guess it doesn't matter if you're a good actor if you've got really, really weak source material.
Yeah. It's a waste of time movie. It's highly reviewed by, it's like in the Criterion Collection, I believe.
I understand, like, some of the scenes are hard to watch and maybe people give it a bit more credit for the grittiness of it.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy that level of gritty. But outside of that, and there's a couple of decent bits, and there's a couple of decent production ideas, but it doesn't make a whole heap of sense plot wise.
No, it doesn't. What are you giving for plot?
This is where I get cranky and I say, what did I put down? 1. The plot annoyed me.
Yeah, I'm giving 1.5. Just, I don't know why.
It's just the decisions that the main characters make constantly are not human. People don't behave this way.
Under a better director and better script, this, obviously...
There's a lot in this movie that could be good, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, siege movies are good.
Oh, yeah. What was it, the Siege of Precinct something or other? What was that movie?
Pelham 123?
No, that was a train line one. The Taking of Precinct something.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was from the 70s as well, I think. Set in the States. Very good. I can't remember what it's called. Forgive me. Well, yeah, siege movies can be fantastic. This is not.
No. I'm also giving the acting 1.5 out of 5. Like, Hoffman's fine. I don't know. I think the local yokels don't really have a lot to say.
They're a bit weak at times. Yeah,
they're a bit weak.
I went with a 2 on the acting. Hoffman has moments where he's acting, but his character's too hot and cold. It doesn't gel. There is no arc.
Yeah.
It's a cliff face as opposed to an arc in his character development.
Yeah. Well, Susan George did well for her first movie and what she had to
It was a
actual
lot
film.
that she had to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot to take on for your first role. On the director, I think he's a bit of a hole for dropping that on her, especially when it's her first movie and she's more likely to say yes.
Yeah, I think he was a bit of a. He died pretty young, Sam Peckinpah, like at 58 or something. I don't know. I didn't read into it. I saw his. Maybe he was a bit of a party animal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sound brackets track, I gave 1. There's nothing in this. I didn't enjoy the sound.
I give 1.5. I could easily have given more. There's
it's sort of
other than the bagpipes, I can't think of it.
The horn at the start was annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying. Weirdly, I thought the choice of the foghorn during the siege was a good move.
The foghorn?
There was a foghorn blaring every few seconds.
Oh, was there? I didn't really even notice that. I think I was just annoyed it was taking so long.
Yeah, I thought it was good at ratcheting.
That's good, tension,
but that's not enough to give any real rating on anything.
On paper, that would be good, and actually, here's me fixing the movie again. But if there's a lighthouse outside, then have the light shining in every couple of seconds,
fantastic,
lighting up the thing. So there's like a dark, bright, dark. That's very.
And you could do scenes. Oh, what was that movie, The Servant? Like the scenes from that where there's face flashes in every now and then, shit like that. Yeah. There's opportunities in this movie that aren't used.
Yeah, everything's good in hindsight. Production 1.5. General decisions that were done, and
the bicycles.
Yeah, just the overall.
Yeah, I give 2. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just weird. It could be one. Every one of these could be between 1 and 2. It's just weird. It's just a weird movie that doesn't really.
Not the worst we've seen, but I'm not even close to. It's not even close to mid-table. So
no, not at all. Vincent Canby in the New York Times gave it 50 out of 100. It is an intelligent movie, but interesting only in the context of his other works. So I guess, you would watch it because he has made a couple of good westerns or whatever.
That's a weak reason to watch a movie.
True.
This might be rubbish, but he's done other good stuff.
TV Guide magazine gave it 100.
Oh.
Yeah, Straw Dogs is one of Sam Peckinpah's finest films, a relentless study in violence and machismo that is shocking, not only for its explicit gore, but for the degree to which it manipulates civilized audiences. Even the most passive viewer may find himself silently cheering on the carnage of the film's climax, an act that in retrospect gives much cause for discomfort. This movie was like banned or not released in Ireland when it came out, and it took years and years for the full uncut version to be released.
Well, they banned The Life of Brian in this country, so
yeah.
They ban movies, or they used to ban movies over stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Now I can understand this one actually. At the time in Ireland, that level of violence and the nature of the violence.
Yeah, 71. Yeah, that was not going to pass the religious board. Well, let's call an end to this heist and call the negotiator in to end this heist. And
the negotiator is Sam Jackson. We're all screwed.
True. Anyway, done. Great. Are we missing anything? No, I don't think so. Because we're not picking a random movie. Yeah, because it's episode 70 next episode, so we're not picking a random movie. We're going to be looking back at our last 9 movies to recap what our feelings are for them in the cold light of day. So we'll see you on episode 70. Please share and email us if you want to send us an email, and we'll see you in episode 70. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.